Good evening. You are listening live to the Extreme Movie Show. I'm your host, Rob, broadcasting to you just west of Orlando, Florida, in the gun zone known as Crime Hills. I'm here in the Pinos Palace, just west, like I said, of Orlando, Florida, in the Extreme Studios. And RDV, I know you're from the great Midwest. I'm having a tough time dodging bullets here because even though I consider Stallone to be a god when it comes to his body of work, and that just doesn't mean acting. I mean the writing, the directing, all sorts of stuff with it, the idea generation. His output was pretty much unmatched in the 80s in the contest between him and Schwarzenegger for who could kill more, be more creative, do all sorts of stuff. Every now and then people go, I know this works for me, but I am an actor. I'm not a member of the theater. I want to broaden my horizons. I want to appeal to as many people as possible. I will make comedy movies instead of ripping limbs off of people and shooting them or ripping them from tip to tail or whatever you want to call it with my Bowie knife. So you get movies like Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. And, I will say this, the 80s was such wacky and bizarre enough, this just might have worked. The problem with Stop or My Mom Will Shoot is it doesn't. And I got to be honest with you. What's your take?
My take on this, this was supposed to be an Arnold movie. And the only reason that Stallone took it because somebody told him that Arnold was looking to take this movie.
The old switcheroo.
But it turns out Arnold lied. He just did it on purpose.
Got Tom Sawyered.
Yeah. They even make a joke about it in the movie too. When his mom says, "I'll be back," he's like, "Cops don't say that." He was like, "Mom, cops don't say that." He's like, "Oh, they don't." It's like the Arnold joke. "I'll be back."
Yep.
Yeah. This movie literally seems like somebody saw a Kindergarten Cop. Let's take this movie, let's run with it. Let's do it. We'll do our own version. But with his mom comes and she's overbearing. Some cool things about this movie is that these actors usually old photos of Stallone when he was a boy, and the photo albums his mom shows when she gets off the plane. She's on these. His mom is overbearing. She's the kind of basically that she makes him a big plate of food. Makes him force him to eat breakfast. She's obnoxious. She is the most overbearing mother. I thought George Costanza had an annoying mom, but this movie though, as I said, it has the mom from Golden Girls in here. I forget what it's Betsy something. I don't remember what her actual full name is.
Golden Girls is a very popular show starring a bunch of women. And people liked it. Estelle Getty was the actress.
Estelle Getty, that's what I'm trying to remember what her name is. Yeah. Estelle Getty in here is pretty much taking the Golden Girls mom, but like dumbing her down, her character, and making her overly protective.
They made her just that caricature of a mom.
Yeah. She's okay in this. It's honestly, if they're going for her to make her so annoying, they overachieved. We get a Stallone butt shot in this. It's PG-13. You can have it's required. If it's a Stallone movie, you have to have a Stallone butt shot, even for a brief second here.
I do approve of that, though. You got to have some. You need more ass shots in movies, even if they're guys.
For beefcake for women.
That's right. Hunky man meat.
But the thing that doesn't work for this movie for me is it's just overbearing. The jokes aren't that funny. Stallone looks like he's doing Tango and Cash, but he's doing it with an older lady instead of having Kurt Russell, who would be a better part in this role. But honestly, though, the things that did work for this movie, the use of guns, the number of bullets fired from a clip from a gun. We're talking about this behind the scenes. The main gun that Stallone uses, it's not shown here on this thumbnail, which is a Taurus PT-99 long barrel, 17 plus 1.9mm.
Heard out for me. I feel it. Come on, give it to me.
So basically, there's this opening scene where he and his buddy were going to do a bust, undercover sting operation, something you would see in Miami Vice. You had Tubbs and Crockett were doing, and things go south. His partner gets shot in the ass, and so he takes out the bad guys. The bad guys are hiding under this bar sign over in the alleyway. So he wildly shoots the sign and misses the chain about 15 times, and finally hits it, and then knocks the guys out. It was such this embarrassing, awkward scene to watch. But at least they used the right amount of bullets he was using and the gun. But overall, like, this movie had a lot of weird stuff. But honestly, I popped for two things. Vinny Rhames is in here.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy,
Candyman, I believe he was in too.
Yeah. Did you
Or no,
recognize?
the people under the stairs.
Did you recognize the other special guest actor in here too? Is one of
That's
the
probably
Stooges.
crying too much or vomiting.
So one of the Stooges there, he plays Paulie. He's the guy in the Cadillac.
Oh yeah.
It's
Paulie.
Martin.
Everyone calls him Paulie. Yeah.
But do you recognize where he's from?
No. Tell me.
That's Martin Ferrero. He plays Izzy on Miami Vice. Yes. He's the informant. Yes.
Got you.
Yes. When I heard his voice, I'm like, I know this guy.
It's a very distinct voice.
It is a very distinct voice.
It sounds wormy.
I had to in the middle of the movie, I'm like, I gotta look on IMDb. I'm like, oh my gosh, it is him. Because that guy didn't really do too much. I was looking at his career too. He did stuff on the X-Files. He was on The Practice. He even made an appearance on Nash Bridges. He was in Heat, Get Shorty, Jurassic Park. He was even an Oscar, actually. He was in Stallone's movie, Oscar. And then I said, the Air Bud, I think the last thing he did was Air Bud, Roll Pup and stuff. He stopped acting in 2015. But as soon as I saw him in there, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. We actually get to see, Izzy in something other than Miami Vice. I was pumped for that.
Yep.
But like I said, this movie, the Stallone, he's basically in there. He's basically a cop. His mom comes to visit, and every year he tries to call her to keep her from visiting, but this time she decides to ignore his phone call. He's dating, and Stallone is dating his boss, who's a lieutenant in the precinct. Everybody knows about it, and they had a falling out. And now it's when his mom shows up, he's getting embarrassed. He's oh, it's cute, your mom's here. It's just his mom plays matchmaker. The thing is with his mom, or not his mom, but the actress that plays his the lieutenant, his on and off girlfriend. Mm-hmm. He's so plain Jane. I was like, where did they get this woman from? Because usually when he has Sharon Stone, or he has some other women that are in there, they're just basically just as equally attractive as he is. I noticed, I was like, they just got a random woman in here who basically looks like they just a nobody. And it was just the chemistry between them wasn't really there, and it was just kind of forced. But overall, this movie is basically his mom. She basically comes over, starts vacuuming while he's trying to sleep. I think and she takes his gun, she cleans it. It is not, it ruins his gun. So then she goes get him a present, an Uzi she buys from a guy on the back of his van. And she gives a present to her son. Stallone's basically pissed off, and she's like, "Where'd you get this?" Well, the guy at the gun stop said he said I was too lippy, whatever. So he kicked me out, and it's yeah. And I'm just like, oh man, this movie just gets worse and worse as you watch it. And this is my second time watching it, and this is the last my time watching it. I watched this when I was younger. I thought it was stupid back then. It is even stupid now. It just seems like it gets worse the more you watch it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's and so some movie. Look, I don't think you judge a movie based on its rewatchability. I think rewatchability is its own different aspect of it. The Italian mom thing. Yeah. So here's the thing. We all have that mom, or some of us know somebody, or we've had those experiences. So to me, somehow they're trying to find a way to go against him by providing a mommy like this. The problem is, I think that's a perfect word, caricature. It's just she's sort of there. She's so lovable and likable that this is where people get so arrogant where they go, "Oh, that should be good enough." Mm-hmm. I'll throw in a dim-witted female and just put her in something sexy and give her a dumbass name and treat her like a bimbo and write her that way, and it doesn't matter because it's a James Bond movie. It's like, no, don't do that. Give it some license, no pun intended. Here, I understand that Stallone was trying to act like, the kid getting caught by his mom, or his mom reprimanding him or walking on him while he's masturbating, or anything that would be shameful, embarrassing, because he whines a lot in here. And I hate seeing Stallone whine, and I get that that's the joke to it. But I don't call that acting necessarily. It was go away heat. It's not you. I want to see him, whatever. It makes me go, that's not what I want to see. And I honestly, in a way, said, you know what? This could be different, because they're throwing an old person in here, an old woman, to kind of foil him and make him whatever. But I don't know how that's, because I'm watching it, it's not funny. I don't know if it's a timing thing. No. I don't know if it's the writing. It just doesn't work period. I didn't really laugh. I didn't really cry. I sat there just like almost shaking my head, just going, this is worse than being awful. It's just there.
So the lieutenant who he's basically dating, I was looking it up. It's JoBeth Williams. She's from the Poltergeist movies.
Yes.
She's also from Switch, The Day After, The Big Chill.
Yeah.
You know, not the most attractive actress. Like I said, if you might as well just got the Mary Samsonite from
yeah,
who's a better actress and better looking, in my opinion. She would have been a better actress to go for that if you're going to have go for that kind of role. And it's just the whole thing is just everything. It was Stallone. Obviously, they didn't care. They knew this was satire, but they didn't go 100% like Police Squad, which they should have done if you're going to do this.
Police Squad is the same movie as like Airplane and all that, but it's a certain style. Just like if you see,
it would have worked better with this.
Probably anything would have been better, but the problem here too is that again, Stallone, we know him kind of from Rocky, we know him from Rambo, we know him from being an action guy, but he's slipped in a few things here and there, whether it was Rhinestone or Oscar and all that. He was definitely trying to do different things because, and let's be real, you and I have talked about this extensively as an 80s based channel, that movies from the early part of the 80s were a certain way, and of course Ninja dominated the 80s. They even made it into a James Bond movie, for God's sakes, License to Kill, which the review will be dropping soon. But by the mid to late 80s, there was this change of really saccharine, syrupy, fake bullshit action that's not scary or bloody or dark. Everything was just too campy. And then here, Stallone definitely tried doing that with some roles. And I don't have a problem with trying to do it. It's just, you just don't throw things like this and go, well, hey, because we have this, it's going to work. It's really insulting because comedy, I'm going to be honest, my take on comedy is very difficult to explain because I've mentioned before, there's exaggeration type jokes. There's going against type. You know, someone like Ice Cube that has got a great smile, but he snarls and he can yell stuff like he's mad at you. Like, man, congratulations on your fucking wedding. Like, that's supposed to be funny. Okay, it's funny maybe the first time or two I heard it, but it's not comic. There's not an intelligence behind it. You know, if I asked you, RDV, publicly speaking, just because you're a male as far as I know, what's the difference between pink and purple? What would you answer?
Difference between pink and purple? Well, is it a boy or girl wearing the shirt?
If I just simply answered as a man, you would sit there and say, and I said to you, the grip, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a connection your brain makes, and that's what you laugh at, right?
Yeah.
This movie does not have that.
Yeah, like I said, the best parts I liked about this was Martin Ferrero, where the guy, the bad guy, and it's a cliche bad guy. Yeah. This guy, it's an insurance scam. They even make fun of it in the movie. The mom makes fun of it. Estelle Getty says, like, oh, this is like the landlord when he burned down for insurance money. Well, it happens. These guns that were in the warehouse, the guy claims that they were burned down in the warehouse, but the guns aren't there because the guns are on the streets. They're selling them. So it just basically feels like a crappy version, what you're getting of a Miami Vice plot, doesn't it? Like you're going into an insurance scam.
Let me bring up the Miami Vice part.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got when we do Extreme TV, that's when we do an episode review of a show.
Yeah.
Generally, the young 20-something Professor Pixel and I will break that off between doing a new show. We'll do a James Bond movie to watch them all in order. We just recorded Offline License to Kill. That's going to drop. That came out in '89. I believe this movie was '89 as well.
That's not offline.
Right?
You just did that live.
Well, yeah. Okay, so it's live. Usually it's offline. But the point is one thing I didn't mention too much in there because it's based off like cocaine and drug dealers is everyone goes, oh, that's just the easy 80 answers, cocaine and drug dealers. Can't you find something new or what like that? Well, no, it fucking works. It's appropriate for the time. It was and is still a thing, right? And so here, to have a caricature villain, to have a caricature that, you cannot understate the influence Miami Vice had in terms of the way movies were shot.
Definitely, yeah.
All this kind of stuff. So people, want to make fun of all that. Well, yeah, that's an easy thing to do, but that doesn't mean it's always going to work. Even here, they're making fun of the like you say, the caricature bad guy. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work.
What if it had been like an old lady that was the bad guy or something, and it took her unique sense of being an old lady to discover it? Something like that would have been a little bit different, maybe humorous.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't work here. Nothing works.
Honestly, if she wouldn't have went with him and then helped him out, if she would have stayed at the apartment, she's like, oh, what do you mean? Like, if you try looking at this, oh, thanks, Mom. He gets there and goes, bye. instead of her basically putting him in the harm's way, getting him into trouble and stuff. It's just the point. It's like, we don't need this. This was horrible. This is cringe. There's good cringe, and then there's bad cringe. This is the bad cringe. Stallone said multiple times in interviews, this is the one movie he regrets making. It's the worst movie he's ever done.
Yeah.
And not because it bombed. It's because he hated working on it. Once, it's just like he did it because he thought that he capitalized seeing what Arnold has been doing with Kindergarten Cop. I think it was 91. I think it was the previous year before this. Yeah, and just he figured, I'll do this, and I'll, here's my take on this. Had this been Arnold, it would have worked.
I think Arnold has an internal sense of humor to himself.
Yeah, his voice, everything. Kindergarten Cop. This is an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It would have worked with Arnold. I think it would have been way better. And I would have got rid of Estelle. I would have got the mom from Seinfeld, Jerry Stiller's wife.
Well, let me ask you this. I don't think she's a problem in this film. And as much as
it's not her. It's not her. It's the writing.
Fault. Yeah,
it's the writing.
Yeah.
There's no such as a bad actress or a bad actor. There's a lot of times this is bad writing, bad dialogue. That's when you have a good, talented actor, or comedian can usually take ad lib and change it, make it work better. It happens all the time, but in this movie, it's just the dialogue sucked. The whole plot was just so cliche, but it wasn't like, it was just the deliverance of some of the dialogue too wasn't that great either. Stallone is not a comedy guy. That's why Judge Dredd with Stallone was everybody at the time it was probably mixed, but now people think about it, it's like, oh my gosh, well, let me go watch the Carl Urban one.
I will say, Jay's making fun of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot in chat, which for years now, well, this is 92, not 89. Maybe if it came out in the 80s, it'd be better. And anytime anybody would be like, stop, in a movie like that, and I think of this like in Austin Powers movies, stop, or whatever like that, immediately I hear the phrase in the back of my mind, or my mom will shoot. I got to be honest, it's got some staying power, right?
It does.
3, 2, 1, stop, or my mom will shoot. I'm waiting for somebody to use that more like an actual thing. Like, where'd you get that from? What
Stop
are you
in
talking
the name
about?
of love, or stop or my mom will shoot. That's the two things. But I mean, like, here's the thing about this movie. It's so bad, but you remember it, though. You cannot forget this movie. As much you try, somebody says, like, yeah, you said, I'll have somebody else to say, like, oh, remember that movie with his mom? And immediately you get flashbacks of what happens in the movie. You may not remember all the specifics, but you remember this, like, oh my gosh, this is right. This movie existed. This movie was bad. And honestly, this is a buddy cop action movie. This is what it's supposed to be. It's billed as. This is a movie you don't watch by yourself. This is a movie you have a few beers with friends, you watch this and make fun of it. Yeah. That's the only way to watch this movie, because you watch it by yourself, man. And Jay, I know that you've been sober for a while. Don't watch this movie. You'll be forced to relapse. I'm saying it is bad.
We're all, believe we're all adults here in chat, and the people that watch it, and we got a lot of international fans as well too, based off the martial arts and other reviews we do. So that's really kind of cool, and definitely have a measurable, noticeable female impact too. So we cater to a lot of the tastes here. I think the thing about it is whatever you guys do, or whatever your particular personal tastes are, hey, that's cool. We're adults. We can agree to disagree or live a different life. That's fine. We're just talking about what we think works, doesn't, what we like, don't like, and you guys make your own opinions. That's great. Mm-hmm. I would, however, because I'm not an advice giver, neither is RDV, but I do agree with him here. If there's any particular substance you like to abuse, partake in, or once in a while do it, that might help you get through this movie, because it is a tough watch, and that's unfortunately one of the problems with it. If it was so bad, it was a complete shit show, that you could go, well, they tried and they failed spectacularly. They didn't lean into it. They really just tried slapping some shit together, and it feels half-assed, and I don't respect that at all. So, even if I don't like her, it's not funny. You can't do that.
After Polly gets bumped off the window, poor Martin Ferrero, would be another informant. He gets bumped off. They track down the bad guy who's going to try and fly to South America, because that's the plan, remember? Always in Miami Vice. Things go south. You flew the coop. You get out of there. So they're chasing him down to the airport, and his mom ends up being getting kidnapped, taken hostage on there. So what does he do? He goes over the top. He grabs the same semi truck he drove, and over the top. Literally, it is the same truck. Go look it up. It's he gets in there and he starts chasing the plane in there to try and derail it, and it is just incredibly awful. Like I said, I did get a chuckle at though, because it was more like, I can't believe they're actually going over the top. With this, and they show him in the truck. He's driving. He must have his sleeves rolled up.
But to me, that's kind of like part of the joke, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. I know that made me chuckle. Honestly, that made me chuckle. I was like, really? They're doing this? But oh my gosh! And here's the other thing, trivia about this too. The reason I grabbed this publicity, the photo here on the left, because in the for whatever reason they advertised this movie with her having her golden girl's white hair, but in the movie Estelle has red hair. Other funny trivia fact about this movie: Estelle was told there'd be no guns. She didn't want to work with anything that had guns. They lied to her and they put guns in it. so it's just stupid stuff like that. But overall, though, like I said, it's don't watch this movie. For the love of God, don't, or anything else that you value, don't watch this movie.
Tell them what they can watch and what we plan on starting to review here soon, though.
Well,
RDB.
I will say, first for comedies go, I would say to quickly go back and watch Top Secret. Watch that. There's a lot of good 90s stuff you can watch that we reviewed it here. Heck, I'd recommend watch Broken Arrow. That's more entertaining than this. Christian Slater and John Travolta is the bad guy fighting on top of a train. The helicopter, great. The nuke, check out. But yeah, like I said, we'll be doing some Reacher stuff on Tuesday. Probably do the 1 through 3, and then when the 4th one drops on Thursday, we'll redo our Reachers on Sunday episodes, along with a poll if we have to.
Yeah, so we're just reconfiguring the poll thing to fit in the thing.
Yeah.
We do like that show a lot. We review it when it comes out every year.
I don't want to wait a week in between because it's just like I just feel like the buzz won't be as there. Because like we do it on Tuesday, and then a couple days later that's a new episode. I feel like we're just playing catch up at that point. So overall, though, like I said, I watched the first 3 episodes this morning. I love the new season. It's back to the feeling of the first season. So that's it for I have nothing else to say about this movie other than if you're a Stallone fan and you really want to punish yourself to watch this, just to mark it off your bucket list, so you can watch all the Stallone films, go for it. Go ahead. I was gonna say, if you want to be traumatized for the rest of your life, watch it.
Sometimes you need a movie to feel pain while you're watching. This is one of them.
Oh my gosh!
I'd
rather watch Pain and Gain. That was Mark Wahlberg.
I definitely would rather watch that. This is almost as bad as watching like Hook or Forrest Gump. I mean, it's that level.
Wait, hold on. Hook was good.
Anyway, we'll do Steven Spielberg's top 3 bad movies at one point, in my opinion. No, I will say this. Look, it's a movie. It sucks. I don't have any fun with it. It's there. I try not to be that negative or harsh with something.
Soundtrack was okay. Nothing stood out, as far as like.
You have a list, right? Something has to be number 1. Something has to be the last.
Yeah.
When you and I have talked about it, I think you may have talked a lot. I don't recall if we reviewed it, but there was a movie that, even though Get Carter, a remake that Stallone did in 2000, people said that was the last movie he made that killed that was the straw that broke the camel's back, that killed his career. Whatever, I can understand it. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. For some reason, I love it. Yep. But the movie that he filmed, I think, at the same time that came out afterwards that nobody watched was called I See You. I really thought that was going to be the worst one of his films.
No,
after watching this one, it's not even close.
I See You was awesome.
I'm just simply saying, a lot of people are like, he made this? What the fuck is that? No, he made Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, and it's worse.
So he made this, and he thought his career is over, and but then I think later on he did Assassins.
Assassins was 94, 95.
Yeah. So he started getting a little more buzz. And then he went back to his roots. So that was much better. Obviously, went to Sharon Stone, who was incredibly hot in that movie too. Then he did The Specialist and all that stuff. Then he did Expendables, which pretty much killed his career. so, yeah, and then they did the Creed movies, which really nobody really cared about. It was
man. Rocky Balboa is the thing that really reinvigorated, which allowed the Creed movies to exist.
yes, I know.
Which once you got rid of Rocky, unfortunately, as much as those movies have been made,
could have ended it with Rocky Balboa, or even just Creed 1.
Look,
1, that's it.
You know, but here's the thing: it shows that for 40 years or whatever of Rocky and what Stallone can do with a character is really incredible, and not a lot of people can do it. So
do you know what
I don't mind that he does those kind of different things. This just didn't work.
Do you know what relaunched his career though? Because The Expendables, okay, the first one, then it just got worse. Tulsa King revitalized his career. His transfer to that, I think that's been his best thing he's done in the 90s, other than the Specialist and a few other movies. So we'll have to rank Stallone movies, and just in general in his career. Because I said, looking at his career, I think Tulsa King is really just, he tapped into something that's a gold mine, and I'm looking forward to the next season to see who's controlling him now.
And we've done, I think, both seasons of Tulsa King. Check that out here.
Yep.
We have that in a playlist. It's one of the first times he's really done a lot of TV, so I think that's pretty cool. It definitely. It's the only reason why I even bothered watching, say, Landman, Tyler Sheridan, whatever his name is, who did 1883 Yellowstone. All this. It's hard for me to watch him because I can't focus on one character, whether I like him or not, and it jumps around a lot. I get it, but Landman with Billy Bob Thornton's been really good, and it reminds me, hey, you know what? We gave Tulsa King a chance only because Stallone was in it. And from what I understand, people that are aficionados, I'm saying, yeah, Tulsa King's a little different. I get it. It's not really the great West. But, Landman's a little different with the oil stuff.
I love Tulsa King because they leaned in. He basically started going to what we needed. More right-leaning actual shows where you're allowed to say what you want to say and not worried about being canceled. I mean,
yeah, we'll see if that changes as the year goes on with the way things are in the current
I think it's
political Hollywood climate.
I think it's going to get better. I think there's going to have more commentary about social justice stuff. So I'm waiting for it. I know.
Right, Tuesday night, what's coming up?
On Tuesday night, Reacher, season 3, episodes 1 through 3.
Yeah, already released on Amazon, and then that's a weekly drop, which we'll be doing on Sundays. So that show's over live at 7 p.m.
New episodes of Reacher. The actual show drops on Thursdays, so they dropped the first 3 already. So you can go check those on Amazon Prime if you remember.
We'll continue the poll. It's just that poll will be for Tuesday nights for the short term, and then we'll decide whether to keep it there or switch back depending on how much feedback we get with we want to do it. The poll has been successful, and remember, guys, you pick this movie for us. So while we can sit through movies like Hard Ticket to Hawaii and have a laugh riot, you guys picked this movie and made us pay.
Yeah, I kept saying, man, Rhinestone, you should have picked that.
I was hoping for Rhinestone myself too. To be honest. I was like, anything but this one.
Stallone is a country singer with Dolly Parton. How can you pass that up?
You could go watch Xanadu with Olivia Newton-John.
You could do that.
Yeah. But anyway, good night now.
Later, guys. If you haven't if you've done so, please click like, subscribe. And after this is over, go down below, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of this movie. Do you think we're too harsh on it? Did you like it? Or just say hello. It helps with the algorithm, helps us share this out. Also check out our other playlists. Even if you don't have time to do it, put it on mute, let it play. We need the watch time. Right now, we're not monetized, even though we're over 1,000 subscribers. We're nowhere near the watch time hours. So please check out our other stuff. Until then, we'll see you on Tuesday then for Reacher season 3. So go check that out, and then you won't be spoiled. All right, later.